Hey, what's up, YouTube? It is Melanie back with Melanie Loves Death Metal and another faceless video today. Going to be talking about the new Hideous Divinity album, Unextinct. This came out about a week ago now. And yeah, so this is out on Century Media, another Century Media product showcase. They've been releasing some good stuff this year. Vitriol, Bulk Nagar. I can't remember the other one right now. But anyway, this is their fifth full-length album, the Italian brutal technical death metal band. Their last album came out in 2019, Simulacrum. I can never say that name. That album was simply fantastic. I've been a fan of the band ever since that album came out. Admittedly, I hadn't really ever heard their other albums before then. I knew who they were, I just haven't really done much of a deep dive, and it wasn't until Tito, their manager, we synced up on Instagram several years ago. You know, he is also the main A&R person over on Everlasting Speed, but he is the band's manager, and he reached out to me and said, hey, I think you'll like my band that I'm managing, and he was correct. So since then, I picked up all their other albums, Obsidian's Rising. I can never say that. Jesus. Someday I'll be able to say things correctly. Cobra Verde, and I'm blanking on the other one right now, unfortunately. I can see it on my CD shelf right now, but I can't read it. So I know it starts with an A. I'm blanking. So anyway, this is called Unextinct. And I kept the hype sticker. I kind of tore it a little bit, but I always stick it on the jewel case just because, whatever, I don't plan on getting rid of it. It's a philosophical inquiry set to relentless cadence of death metal. Tailor-made for fans of Nile, Cattle Decapitation, and Ulcerate. So on that hype sticker, definitely Nile and Ulcerate. Cattle Decapitation's newest album definitely has a little bit more of sound, some remnants of that. Definitely, if you're a fan of those bands, you'll enjoy this album. In terms of the brutal death metal and technical death metal blend, not brutal death metal in that it's just the bree, like what you would hear with Brodequin or Stabbing. But it's got those brutal death metal rhythms, those breakdowns, and then the vocal styles are very guttural. However, on this album, the vocals are definitely much more of a variance. They are dissonant and very sinister sounding. I would say the vocal content, the vocal delivery of this album is by far the best one to date. So yeah, this album is simply perfect 5 out of 5 for me. I was simply blown away at how good it was when I first heard it. Everything from the production to the overall content of the songs, the structuring of the writing, it's completely relentless beginning to end. It's an exhausting album, I will tell you that. When you're done listening to it, you're kind of just like, holy shit, I need a nap. But trust me, it is a very good album. So let me get into the meat and bones of the CD. Here's the CD, and on the back side is the liner notes. Kind of annoyed that they did this because, again, you kind of can't read some of it because of the tray table. You have to pop this off. But I wanted to call out the artwork on this is simply fucking phenomenal. It goes so well with the overall theme of this album, which is obviously the vampiric theme, and it's of course Adam Burke does the artwork. You kind of can't see that there, and then misanthropic art, Jesus, I can't talk, did other additional artwork for this. So yeah, and look at that. So we've got the vampire there eating up the guy on the ship. And yeah, so that's the overall theme of this album. So you pretty much can grasp like what sinister sounds you're hearing on here. And I just love this theme of this album. You don't get like very many vampiric themed death metal albums. You definitely do in the black metal realm, but death metal typically is your normal body disfigurement or anti-religion or anti-Christianity zombies, stuff like that. So the vampire thing was pretty cool. So here's the lyrics in the booklet. Has some sayings and stuff like that. And then we get into the meat and bones of the awesome artwork here. this massive selling point. My favorite song on this album is the actual final song on the album. It is so, so good. Oh, God, I love this. I love that artwork. So the final song is Leben on Sour Flower. I can never Sour. I don't know. I just know the final song is my favorite song on the album, but the whole entire album is very good. Like I said, it's pretty relentless beginning to end. And then here's the backside. Pretty simple CD here, but I was happy that it was a jewel case because, again, I don't like digipacks. So, yeah, shining moment of 2024 already. Century Media has released 3 of my favorite releases so far this year. Vitriol, this one, and then Borknagar's new album. And I'm shocked because generally Century Media, they release some good stuff and I'm here and there and I enjoy it. But I was happy about this. Wait, am I thinking of, is Necrophobic on Century Media? I can't remember now. Or was that Nuclear Blast? I don't know. Anyway, Century Media pumping out the stuff. $20 spin. Also just assaulting everybody with the releases this year. Lots of good stuff. But this new Hideous Divinity album is definitely worth a listen. If you're a fan of Ulcerate and Nile, I think that's a pretty good indication of the blend and style of this album. There's a lot of dissonance here. There's also a lot of atmosphere, like just crushing and suffocating atmosphere that they haven't really heard on their past albums. The technical death metal is still here. Their previous albums were fairly technical, and you got that they were a technical death metal band. It's definitely still on this album, but I feel like the atmosphere, the all around, crushing and suffocation that they've added, like style they added into this music, it just ended up, for me, being my favorite album that they've released so far. It's a fantastic album. It's very well written. The lyrics, the vocals, the theme, the guitars, the drumming. Goddamn, the drumming is so stellar on this. It's a very well written album, beginning to end. Robert over on the Metal Meltdown said he gave it a 4 out of 5 just because he's so exhausted by the time this album is over. Yeah, there's definitely that exhaustion period, but for me, it has left me wanting to replay it. There was a day where I was driving for about 4 hours one day, and I think I played this album 3 times in a row. So I really enjoy it. I think it's pretty phenomenal. So let me know what you guys think. Hideous Divinity, kind of a under the radar release for me this year. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And I don't know why, because I did really like their last album. And it's been quite a few years since they've released. They came out with an EP last year, LV426, or sorry, was that last year or was that 2 years ago? No, that was like 2 years ago. Holy cow. Wow, time flies. That was pretty good too, and you got a pretty good sense of what they were moving into with this sound, so I enjoy it. Good release. So, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, and yeah, see you later.